Hey guys, having a strong core is an important consideration as you age. It's your body's foundation from which you're able to provide stability and express power. A famous strength coach once said that you cannot fire a cannon from a canoe. The point being that force production requires a solid base, in this case, your core. There are several muscles that make up the core, including the six-pack, but it also extends to the hips and lower back. Since they're in constant use, testing their strength does involve a level of endurance, and a common exercise to test this is the front plank. The front plank involves holding a rigid body position on your forearms, and there are a few important points to consider for good technique. Firstly, the feet should be no more than shoulder width apart. The wider your feet go, the less demanding it is on your stabilization muscles. Think about making a straight line from your ankle through your knee and hip to your shoulder. It might not be a perfect straight line, but that's a good way to understand the correct body position. Your head should be neutral, not excessively flexed or extended, and the same goes for your lower back. The test is an isometric hold, which means you're holding a fixed position without moving. The goal is to hold the front plank for the maximum amount of time, and the clock stops when you can no longer hold the correct position. For most people, that will be when the hips sag, putting additional stress on the lower back. So please do be strict with yourself and stop the timer as soon as the safety of your lower back becomes compromised. The way the forearms are positioned means it's relatively easy to time yourself, either holding a stopwatch or tapping a mobile phone to start and stop the timer. There is an element of mental toughness when you do the hold, so only do the test when you are motivated to do so. Since it's a static hold, it carries a very low injury risk. However, you may wish to do a few minutes of jogging or marching on the spot as a warm-up, as well as some arm swings to warm up the shoulder joint. A front plank test is not suitable if you have any existing injuries to the shoulders, elbows and wrists, or to the ankles or lower back. It's quite strenuous, so should be avoided if you have high blood pressure, suffer from regular migraines, or have an existing hernia. Finally, it's not recommended for those in the later stages of pregnancy. In terms of scoring yourself, I had to combine several online resources to come up with some front plank standards. Starting with women, we have excellent up at 4 minutes 30, declining after the age of 40 until it's around half that duration over the age of 70. Average is a far more modest 45 seconds for the youngest age bracket. For men, the values are higher, so it's a 6-minute hold for excellent and 60 seconds for average. The decline with age is the same, which works out at roughly 1% each year through to the age of 70, after which there is an accelerated loss of strength and endurance. This is a relatively simple test with a minimal injury risk for those in good health, so theoretically it's something that could be tested quite frequently. However, unless there's going to be a dramatic change in the amount of exercise you're doing, it's something that won't change too quickly with age. With that in mind, testing every year or every other year should be sufficient. I've been tracking this for the last 4 years, and I tend to fall in the above average category with recent scores around 3.5 minutes. When it comes to repeating this test, you may find a level of added motivation as you try to beat your previous score, which is something to bear in mind. Thanks for watching.